Make Movies, Film Geeks podcast, episode number 49. Welcome to the We Make Movies podcast, making the world a better place, one film at a time. And now, here are your hosts, otherwise known as the director, the actress, and who the hell is that guy? Chad, Michelle, and Garrett. Hello, everyone, and welcome to We Make Movies, We Make Movies Film Geeks podcast, the podcast that's all about how to get your movie made, how to get it seen by other people, and how to get it awesome. I am your host, Garrett Robinson. With me, as always, Michelle Lucadou.
What's up, bitches?
We are members of the We Make Movies filmmaking community in Los Angeles. Chad is still absent this week, and I totally dropped the ball on getting a third host. We were supposed to have Jack Zulu on, and then I completely forgot to set that up. So, we're kind of returning to the old form today, where it's just the two of us, and we're going to have a Geeks grotto and everything. Michelle, careful, you were hitting your microphone while you were dancing. It was quite loud.
Oh.
It's all right, though. We begin, as always, with community news. First bit of community news. Subscribe to our channel if you haven't already. The channel is WMM Originals, and if you are only a listener on the audio feed, we would still really appreciate it if you would come and subscribe to the channel. The more subscribers we have, the more awesome stuff we can continue to do with YouTube. It's a big part of growing our presence and being social proof and everything, and you'd really be helping us out. So yay. You can find it at youtube.com/WMM Originals. And in other news, this Wednesday at 7:30 p.m. at the Theater Asylum in Hollywood is our Wednesday Writers Workshop, otherwise known as the Something to Do on a Wednesday Night Until You Get Really Famous workshop. Come on in. We have great scripts read by great writers, read by great actors. We're all great around here. But also come by, because this is the last Wednesday event we're going to be having for a while. For all of June and half of July, we'll be deep into the WMM Fest in conjunction with the Fringe Festival in Hollywood. So there will be no more Wednesday events for about 6 weeks. So come on by, hang out with us one more time before the summer break. And Michelle, you have something for us.
Why, yes. In fact, I do. So this Wednesday, well, first of all, this Tuesday, we're releasing another sketch, and it happens to be a very special sketch day because I happen to be in it.
Huzzah!
So that should be fun, hopefully.
And that was also directed by fearless leader Sam Messman.
Mm-hmm. But on Wednesday, this is very exciting to me, we start releasing our full-length films on our YouTube channel. We're going to start it off with Lona Koning. It's here's the blurb. Almost fully recovered from an accident, a man struggles to communicate that his emotional wounds are still fresh. So May 28th, be there or be uninspired, because here's the thing. We make movies. We make sketches. We make Film Geeks podcasts. We make a lot of shit, but we make movies best. So yes. I'm really excited to see all these crazy good films. Like right after Lona Koning, we're releasing Rwanda Blend, which is just beautiful. It's freaking amazing. It's such a great film. So, so we're releasing one week.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's exciting. Feature-length films coming out from us. I don't think I've seen one from the community yet. I know people have been producing them, but I've never made it go right to go to a screening. And this is pretty exciting, guys. So come on by. Come on by the YouTube channel. You don't have to go very far.
Come on down.
Sorry about that. So we will move on to general news items for the week. I am pledging to all of you right now, I am seeing X-Men Days of Future Past this week. Let's talk numbers. Over $90 million on its first day, $261 million opening weekend, although the weekend isn't done, so I don't know how they have that number already. I guess it's a prediction. But get this, motherfuckers, 91% with critics on Rotten Tomatoes and 95% with audiences.
What?
Yeah. Yeah, that's insane. We haven't seen numbers like that for a long time. For any movie. And this is a superhero film, which, like, typically you'll have really excited audiences and critics who are like, oh, too many explosions, superpowers, special effects, but, like, people love it and critics love it. So that's insane. Obviously, everyone I've heard from is just like, oh my god, best thing ever. So this appears to be a huge X-Men extravaganza. And for anybody who was afraid that that First Class was going to be kind of a shot in the pan, a flash in the pan, like, oh, they managed it for this one, but maybe they'll start tanking again. Everybody that I've heard from, whether online or personal connections, says that this blows First Class out of the water, and I really liked that film. So I am going to see it. I will try and go see it tonight so that I can contribute to its opening weekend, because I like contributing to awesome things. And
that sounds like a good idea. I think I will try to see it this evening as well.
We should go try and see it together, and we should bring David.
I don't know. Are you going to geek out? I don't want to go to a movie with you if you're going to geek out.
Well, define geek out. Like, I'm, hey, this is the Film Geeks podcast. You're in the wrong place if you're not.
All right, fine, maybe.
All right.
Only if I get to smuggle in a flask.
Dude, we should try and do that. Just be like, Wolverine, punch him in the dick.
Didn't you watch the pilot episode of Bad Teacher? You just put vodka in a water bottle.
No, I haven't heard that one. That's excellent. That's actually excellent. Actually, excellent.
Don't waste your time in the pilot of Bad Teacher.
Okay, I won't. I won't do that. I would never have done that anyway. I didn't see the film.
All right, my turn.
Your turn.
Okay, Cannes is coming to a close. Huzzah. Wow. In this film, Winter Sleep just won the Palme d'Or award. This guy, the director, Nuri Bilge Ceylan, it's a 3 hours plus Turkish film about a hotel in a Cappadocian mountain region. I don't even know where that is, and the community that surrounds it. It was like the top honoree. It was like very exciting. Everybody's very excited about it. But everything I've read about it, obviously I haven't seen it. Everything I've read about it says it's super talky. I hope to see it. But you know, the director's a regular at Cannes, but this year he won. But basically for being ballsy. His original cut of the 3 hour plus long film was 4.5 hours. And was finally convinced to cut it down to more than 3. But in all of his interviews, he talked about how cool it is, how it's not cool these days to make a film that's that long. Because, as he said, people like to live fast. So apparently, the people at Cannes don't. So congratulations, Nuri. Let's work together soon, because I don't really live that fast either, especially on Sunday mornings.
Fantastic. No, it's definitely not. I don't know if you'd call it fashionable, but definitely studios don't like films that are longer than the standard 90 minutes. But like, if you look at like what most people consider some of the greatest films of all time, and definitely people's favorite films of all time. My favorite films of all time, Lord of the Rings. All of them are 3 or more hours long. One of them is, almost 4 hours long. And it's like, you can do epic stuff with that extra time, and it breaks the formula, and it gets people. Anyway, I just think it's ridiculous when people are like, oh, well, you're never going to sell a script if it's more than 90 pages. I'm like, well, then the system is broken, because screw you guys. It's annoying. Anyway. Edgar, you muted yourself, Michelle.
I did. I know.
That nod was great. Ah, yes, so I did. Sorry, go ahead.
Whatever, go ahead. Your turn.
Edgar Wright has left Ant-Man. Wah, wah, wah. Oh, God, I got to pull on Google Effects. Hold on. Here we go. There's all kinds of sound effects in here that I didn't really know about or didn't use very much, but that I want to start using. Here we go.
Oh.
There we go. See? You like that? Yeah.
Very much enjoy it. Do you know what else I enjoy?
What?
This.
Oh, no. You're going to start doing the... Oh, God. So for anybody who's on the audio feed, you can do this thing where you put, like, big fake glasses. Like, Google Hangouts recognizes your face and puts, like, a tiara on your head. So Michelle currently has a tiara. But anyway, Edgar Wright has left Ant-Man. This is bad news. I could not have been more excited to see Edgar Wright doing Ant-Man. For anybody who doesn't remember or hasn't watched his show very long, Edgar Wright is behind some really great films like Shaun of the Dead and Hot Fuzz, and one of my favorite films of all time, no joke, Scott Pilgrim versus the World, which is just a hilarious, geeky music nerd video game movie. He's amazing. He's really funny as a writer, and his personality as a director would have lent itself extremely well to Ant-Man, because Ant-Man's always kind of been like an asshole superhero. But Marvel wanted him to include more franchise characters in the story. And they sent the script he wrote to two lower-level writers to rework it more in the direction that they wanted it. And when he got the script back, Edgar Wright was so disappointed that he backed out of the project. And he said, listen, we are obviously on two completely different pages creatively. So that is very sad. And in my opinion, I mean, Marvel knows what they're doing, but in my opinion, bad call, Marvel. Like, he has so much geek cred. He's like Joss Whedon in that, yeah, like, it's like when you hear Joss Whedon is working on the Avengers, you're like, oh my god. When you hear J.J. Abrams is doing the new Star Trek and now the new Star Wars, you're like, oh my god, I trust him. I think he's going to be so amazing. And to bail on Edgar Wright as a director, that's a bad call in my personal opinion. And I am not the people with hundreds of millions of dollars to spend on it. Best part of this story, Joss Whedon, who obviously directed the Avengers, tweeted a picture of himself holding a Cornetto ice cream cone wrapper, which is a reference to Edgar Wright's three main films, like he did a three-film trilogy, sort of. So Joss Whedon was holding up that ice cream cone wrapper in solidarity and bowing his head in mourning. Awesome. Awesome thing. Anybody who's an Edgar Wright fan was like, yeah, Joss Whedon, we love you. Anyway.
Nice. Interestingly enough, I was just randomly clicking along on my computer, and I found on slashfilm.com a graph, a bar graph, showing the average length of movies or films by the decade. These are like major films, and in fact, they have gotten longer, much, much longer. 1910s, they were at about 75 minutes. 1930s, we got about 93 minutes. 1960s, we topped out 127 minutes. 80s, 130 minutes, and the 2000s, thus far, we are topping out at, it looks like 130 minutes.
Really? So it is going up?
It is apparently going up.
Wow.
According to slashfilm.com. I don't know where this this lovely graph came from, but it looks pretty comprehensive.
Well, that's exciting. That's something to check out. You said slashfilm.com?
Yeah, slashfilm.com. And it's there's the IMDb Film Length Project. It's averages the top 50 rated films from each decade. So there's 500 titles in total, started with times 10 decades. Gives a good idea of the average length of popular films. So it's not an average length of all films, but popular films. So yeah, well, they are getting longer.
And I mean, and the thing is like, you know, this movie with Sheba LaDouche and called Nymphomaniac.
Mm-hmm.
That is a two-part film, and each part is like 4 hours long. So it's all in all an 8-hour film. And they're doing a shorter version for theatrical release, and then you can get the director's cut, which is 8 hours long. That's not necessarily something that I'm going to be like, oh, let's do this. But I'm like, wow, you clearly wanted 8 hours for some reason, and I am intrigued by it. I want to see what somebody would spend 8 hours of film doing. Even though I can recognize that that's not necessarily going to be a runaway commercial success, it's cool. It is somebody doing something for a reason, for a statement. So I think it's kind of cool.
It's true. Well, and the fact of the matter is that we're still topping out, or averaging 130 minutes, not 3-hour plus film, which is 180, 200 minutes. So 3 hours is still long ass film. But I myself do plan on, we're talking about what we want to do this summer, and I think we're going to spend maybe 24 hours and just do a Lord of the Rings marathon.
I'd better be there. If you don't invite me, I'll set you on fire. I will set you on fire.
Ooh. Convenient.
So you
All right,
have.
my turn. So speaking of setting on fire.
I've got a sound effect ready.
Ooh, okay. This one's a little silly, but it's my favorite thing that has happened in a long time. Seth Rogen and Snoop Dogg, they like to get stoned and do things on YouTube, and they recently recapped Game of Thrones.
While stoned.
YouTube, while stoned. It's on YouTube, and it's freaking hilarious.
So what, do you just Google Seth Rogen and Snoop Dogg Game of Thrones or something?
Yep.
Oh my God, I kind of want to see. I'm not like a stoner, I guess, but that just sounds amazing. I love Seth Rogen, and whenever I see Snoop Dogg do something, when he puts himself in something, when he like has a bit role in a movie or something like that, I'm always like, this is actually kind of cool. And maybe it's just like, starstruck, whatever. It's like cool to see a rapper doing something, but that does sound kind of funny. Not gonna lie.
Yeah, it's kind of badass.
Yeah.
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 That's all I have to say about it. I'm not going to say anything about it other than, like, turn on your freaking computer and go to it. It's like, I don't know, 4 minutes or something ridiculous, but it's well worth your 4 minutes of time.
Do they recap the whole show?
I'm not going to tell you anything else other than the fact that it's freaking funny.
That's all we get to see. All right. All right, so I'll move on to my next general news item. So yesterday, Michelle and I were at a reading of a feature film script written by a We Make Movies member. For anyone who's been listening to the show for a while now, you might remember the Equal Rights competition. Rights, W-R-I-T-E-S. That's clever. Equal Rights competition we held a while ago. Well, this is that script that won. It has been optioned by the people who held the contest. It is in development. And what the writer and Sam Messman, our fearless leader, elected to do was to sit down and have a full reading of the entire script, opening it up to some members of the community. Not everybody was there, not everybody could make it, blah, blah, blah. But some members of the community for critique, feedback, advice. And this is one thing that I see relatively few people in the industry do, especially independents. Now, obviously, you want to maintain control of your creative vision, and you don't want producers and executive producers stepping in and telling you how to make your movie. But I think some people take it too far, and they don't want to have anybody's input. They don't want to hear when there's a problem in their story or in the pace or in the the scenes one to the next or their dialogue. So they did this reading and they walked out of the event going, oh my God, the feedback we got was so great, blah, blah, blah. Garrett, you're a genius, blah, blah, blah.
Really? They said that?
Yeah, no, that's a direct quote. That's a direct quote from everybody who's there. So the point is that the community... No, I'm kidding. But they really appreciated all of the feedback that the entire community gave. So the point is that the community is helping them make this film the best it can possibly be. They have other people whose opinions they trust with their eyes on the work so that these people can spot problems in the story before it's going to film. So I would just recommend this as a thing that you should do for your own projects in the future when you're developing something for production. And of course, that is what We Make Movies is all about. And this is another feature that you will hopefully be able to see here in one form or another very shortly. So hats off to them. Can't wait to see the movie get made.
Yeah, I mean, I was there, and it was really interesting also. I think one thing that's great about the We Make Movies community is that people are very open-minded. I don't know if I'm allowed to talk about which writer it was, but said writer was on stage after the reading of the film, and we probably spent, 45 minutes giving her suggestions, saying you need to change this wasn't clear, this was different, I like this was great, this was awful. And she, at one point...
Nobody said this was awful.
No, there wasn't anything awful. It's an awesome film. I'm so excited about it because I won't say anything about it other than, like, it is one of my favorite types of films in the world. But she, the writer...
it's a porn, everybody, it's porn.
Yes. I wish there was a sound effect for that.
Hold on. That's close enough.
That's a good one.
That's good.
But I mean, she was writing so much, and there were so many amazing comments, and some not great, and some that might work, might not work. That she was like stretching her hand. Like there were so many, there's so much to write. That yeah, I mean that it was 45 minutes worth of comments on a film reading, which is just it's exciting as a community member too to feel like you can
You can help.
contribute to
And
something, you know.
I want to stress that is part of the beauty of this community. There's a lot of awesome things about our community, but first of all, that people, when giving critiques, try to be constructive in their criticism while also not just jacking you off. There are communities that are very destructive and say this is crap, you don't know how to write, yada yada, and there are communities that are like everything that you do is wonderful and nobody should be, you know, everybody should be giving you money to make your films and yada yada yada. We are the community that says, I think the foundation is very strong. This part has some problems, and here is why I say that. And if you ask for it, even have suggestions on how to fix it, but they don't like to give specific notes. Like I said something general yesterday. I could tell she didn't totally get where I was coming from, and I was like, as a specific example, blah blah blah, but that's a specific note, which means that you probably shouldn't take it. Like, we are good at that. And then also that she accepted critique so magnanimously. I made a video on my personal vlog not too long ago about how to survive in a critique group, and that is one thing. No matter what anybody says as a critique, even if they're 100% wrong, you don't have to say that, because you don't have to do what they say. So while there may have been some critiques that she didn't agree with, she didn't turn it into a thing of like, oh, well, that critique is a piece of crap. Like, there's no benefit to saying that, and she didn't. So it's like on both sides of the equation. I love this group. You know, I love this group. So.
I do as well, and it was really fabulous that she took all of the critique as well as she did.
Yeah.
And I'm excited to see it get made.
Yes, can't wait to see that film come out.
All right, so I have some stuff to talk about. This is my favorite news item because it directly affects me and my wallet, which, you know, I like my wallet. YouTube is adding this kick-ass feature where the viewer can directly contribute actual dollars to the tuber. Tuber's a thing. Creators can make money off of fans beyond having to, like, you know, share ad revenue on their videos, all that. I think you probably have to be a YouTube partner to benefit from the whole, they're calling it a tip jar thing.
Yeah, I'm sure.
But becoming a partner and, like, monetizing your account is totally easy. You just click some stuff and they make sure you're not, you know, you're an actual person.
Right.
So bust a move. I'm really excited.
Yeah, yeah, okay, sorry. I was right about to break into my main topic, which totally segues. But
no, my turn.
I know, sorry.
There's a lot to be said about this. I don't know exactly when it will be taking effect, but you can have it, and monetizing with ads is just a pain in the ass, and then a lot of viewers are turned off completely by ads. So it's a great way to make some money, and I might even get my web series going again. If you're interested, tweet me. You may see the return of $20 Los Angeles.
Well, I want to see that. I'll give money.
Well, it's already on YouTube.
So, well, I will check that out. $20 Los Angeles, everybody. Go look it up. So this tip jar thing is huge. I don't even know if you out there listening know how huge it is. First of all, like Michelle said, a lot of people don't like ads. Honestly, I don't like ads. I don't necessarily mind them so much, but I definitely don't have a huge affinity for them. And the second tip jar comes out on YouTube, if I'm eligible for it, I will be removing ads from all of my videos, because I prefer watching channels without ads. The only reason I have ads is because I produce a lot of content for YouTube. I would like to be making money from that, so there you go. But I would much rather have everything be completely voluntary. in terms of how big this is and why this is so significant to me in terms of YouTube taking this step, you guys probably know of the Vlog Brothers. Michelle, I know I've talked to you about them before.
Mm-hmm.
They're Hank and John Green. They started their YouTube channel in 2007, and since then they've become kind of a big thing. They're not, I don't think they're in the top 100 YouTube channels out there, but they're up there. They make a living from YouTube, and then they make extra living off of like everything else. In addition to vlogging back and forth every day, every week, John vlogs to Hank on Tuesday, and Hank vlogs back to John on Friday. They have gone on to expand a YouTube empire with a massively successful educational channel called Crash Course, a couple of channels with them just playing video games and commenting, entirely original narrative web series, a bunch of other stuff. Hank Green is an Emmy-winning video creator and an immensely successful musician. John Green is an internationally best-selling author. He has fans so crazy. Some of his fans get a little bit overboard, like his book, The Fault in Our Stars, his most recent book, it came out a year and a half ago, is now a film that's coming out in June. So he came on the film tour. It wasn't just the actors. He went. And when he was in Miami doing a show, the fans got so rabid that they kind of broke through security and rushed the stage, and he had to be kind of like escorted away very quickly because there were thousands of people gang rushing him, and he was all just like, he tweeted afterwards, he's like, I'm sorry we had to go so quickly, it kind of got a little scary, I'm so sorry for all the fans that didn't get to see us, didn't get to whatever, but anyway, guys are freaking popular. So what does this have to do with the tip jar? Hank Green already started the tip jar. More than 2 years ago, he created a website called Subbable.com. Anyone with a YouTube channel with more than 5,000 subscribers can submit themselves to Subbable, and they have to decide whether to take you or not. And dozens of channels have been picked up and have been operating there very successfully for years. It's entirely voluntary. Viewers can go there and contribute an amount of their choice to their favorite shows on a monthly subscription. Any amount. You can subscribe for $1 a month. You can subscribe for $10 a month, $100 a month. I think they do have an upper limit of like $5,000 a month because it's not legal for them to accept more than that for one reason or another. Obviously, nobody's contributing that much, but I know people who contribute $20 a month to the Crash Course Subbable thing. Anybody can still go watch the YouTube videos for free. I have watched all of the Crash Course videos, and I watch them all for free. I would love to subscribe, but I already have so many automatic payments coming out of my bank account every month, I just don't need another one. But now, the tip jar thing. I can be like, if there's a call to action at the end of a video that says, hey, if you want to, you can contribute to my tip jar, and it's a video creator that I really like and I really want to see keep creating videos and be successful at it, I will go, hey, have I got a couple bucks in my bank account right now? Yes, I do. Here's $5. That is going to be the modus operandi for my channel. Like, as soon as that comes out, that is the coolest thing. And if they've got perks, like the Subbable.com thing had perks. Once you hit $100, they'd send you a T-shirt. Once you hit $500, they'd send you a autographed book. Every book that he's ever written, autographed, whatever. And if they do that for Tip Jar, then it's even cooler. Guys, YouTube is paying attention. They are still looking at ways to change their platform and make it better. They are a big, massively powerful corporation that are improving themselves. It's like, oh my God, sure, they make changes here or there that some people don't agree with. Like, every time they change the format of the website, people kind of go apeshit a little bit.
Anytime they change the format of any website, people go apeshit.
Right. And usually, to me, it's because people, there is like a career strategy, and then there's career tactics. And when people base their entire YouTube channel around the fact that subscribers always see your videos when they log into the homepage, and then YouTube changes it so that they show you featured videos instead, people freak out and they're up in arms because they can't like trick people into watching their video. Anyway, it's a whole shebang. In my opinion, YouTube is doing what it thinks is best, not just for themselves and not just for the creators, but for the viewers. And they are actually, in this case, they are actually taking a page from the book of two of their most successful creators, the Vlog Brothers. And that is one of the coolest things I've seen from a big corporation like them in a long time. In this day when we've got net neutrality and companies muscling in on other companies and trying to rape them for more money and just I just really like seeing something like this. Even, and if they're going to make more money off of it, awesome, but I don't care. What I care about is that it's awesome for viewers and it's awesome for creators. And
well,
YouTube,
they're going to bring more people to YouTube.
yeah.
Doing. I mean, even when I heard it, I'm like, ooh, should I bring my web series back? Should I start another web series? Should I do this? Should I do that? Like, I want shit on YouTube so I can make money from random fans because
and also
for stuff.
Yeah. And that will enable more people to, like, if you have a thing where let's say that you at your part-time job or whatever you make $800 a week or whatever. Well, if you can get close to that level on YouTube, doing it as a side thing, a couple of videos posted every week or whatever, then you can quit and you can be making YouTube videos full time, and that means more videos for YouTube, so more watchers and more. It's just it's so smart.
But I mean, $800 a week. I mean, that is a lot for YouTube.
For sure.
There are the people that make a living off of YouTube have millions of subscribers. It takes a while to actually make a good living off of YouTube. Once you do, bust a move. And then like I went to high school with, I don't know if you're familiar with the Gregory brothers.
Yeah.
Auto-Tune the News, and their channel, I think it's called Schmoyoho, has over 2 million viewers. I mean, 2 million subscribers. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
But they make a living off of YouTube, but not specifically off of YouTube. They tour and perform their songs that they have made for YouTube.
Right.
I mean, there's like the Game of Thrones song where all the blonde people are evil, and there's.
But here's the thing: this is going to change all of that. All of that with 2 million viewers.
Yes,
if they put out a call to action in their videos, and they say, hey, if you could toss us $1, that'd be great. And if 1% of their viewership did that with 2 million subscribers, that would be $20,000 a month divided between the two of them and whatever crew they've got. That is a living. That's not a Beverly Hills mansion, but like, holy crap, like this is going to change. And YouTube loses no money because it's not like they're giving away a higher percentage of their ad revenue. It's whatever the viewers contribute. And I assume they'll take some kind of percentage. YouTube will.
Yeah, probably. I mean, but what do you think the percentage of viewers what would be the percentage of viewers that in your guesstimate in the future that would contribute to?
It totally depends on the channel. It totally depends on the channel and the viewers they cultivate. College Humor, I think, will have a minuscule percentage, less than a percentage of a percentage. Whereas the Vlogbrothers, if they elect to do that, they might not elect to do that because they don't need it, honestly. They are already making a plenty high living, and they might be like, hey, we already have Subbable, and we'd rather you did that. But if they did, I would guess between somewhere around 5% of their viewers would regularly contribute. I would contribute at least once a month, probably more, to them if they opened up a tip jar, because I love them. I would do the subscription thing if I didn't become intensely nervous at the idea of more money being automatically deducted from my bank account.
Right. I mean, do you think there needs to be some kind of incentive for viewers? Say, Joe Schmo YouTuber who does makeup tutorials on her YouTube channel. She has, let's say, 2,000 subscribers. Of those 2,000 people, maybe 5 people decide to give her $5, whatever. But she, offers an incentive like, I will make this video if I make this much money in a month. I mean, is this going to incite a whole new wave of YouTubers coming up with incentives, like video incentives?
Well, that depends if it's built into the system. Like the tip jar thing, I think if you can put incentives on, like for example, me, right? Tip jar thing. hey, if you like my channel, toss me a buck. Anybody who tosses, blah blah amount of money into the thing, I will mail you an autographed copy of one of my books. Da 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 da. If we hit it, and then you could put a game. I think you could definitely put a game of incentivized creation. In other words, if we get up to this, this much contribution, I will make a video of myself running naked down Hollywood Boulevard, and it's like, yeah, I'll probably get arrested for it, but whatever. Like, you could totally do that, and I wouldn't be surprised to see that springing up. It depends on whether they put rewards into the tip jar.
Like a Kickstarter kind of thing.
Exactly. If you contribute, like I would do that if there's a way to track it. If I can't tell who's giving money and how much they're giving, then there's no way for me to deliver on that.
Right.
I couldn't do that. But I would love to do that. It's like, hey, contribute to my vlog, my YouTube channel. I'll increase production values as I can and whatever. But for everybody who contributes blah amount of money, I'll give you one of my books, or I'll do this, or I'll do that. I think
it's great. It's going to be, it's very exciting for YouTubers, myself included. Like, people that don't necessarily make a living from tubers, but like I've had one of my other series was picked up by an MCN. It was fairly popular for a while. I mean, it's the carrot has been dangled.
Right.
But we should probably move on.
Yeah, we should.
I want to talk about Quentin Tarantino.
I love that man, except when he is a person. I love his films.
I would like to know when you think he's not a person.
I love seeing one of his films and going like, oh, I just see Tarantino all over this. Oh, I love his style. I love his dialogue. I love his actors. I love his choices and his cinematography and everything. And then he gets in front of a microphone and starts talking, and I'm just like, why? Why are you this douche? Anyway.
I mean, maybe he's.
No, sometimes he's really a douche. Sometimes he's and sometimes he's just like, yeah, I'm a cool guy, and I'm like, yeah, you are a cool guy. And then, but when he's a douche, he's really a douche. Anyway, I really like him. I'm so torn because I'm just like.
I think he's brilliant. I
think he's. Yeah, completely.
I also think that, like, for me specifically, that is like going to be my. Bar for having quote unquote made it when I work with Tarantino.
Nice, excellent.
So that's on my bucket list. But anyway, so he spoke at Cannes recently, further expressing, and he's been very vehement about this, his virtual hatred for digital, like everything, everything.
Yeah.
And he said, amongst other things, and I'm going to actually read a quote. Yeah, as far as I'm concerned, digital production and DCPs is the death of cinema as I know it. It's not even about shooting your film on film or shooting your film on digital. The fact that most films are now not presented in 35mm means that the war is lost, and digital projections, that's just television in public. Apparently the whole world is okay with television in public, but what I know as cinema is dead. Little dramatic. But I think I may agree with him. But he has some good points. What's interesting is that I read the whole, spiel, and he did go on to say that he thinks digital is cool for young filmmakers who, won't be able to afford, may not be able to afford to, shoot on film, but experienced filmmakers have no business shooting in digital. And I'll quote again. Why an established filmmaker would shoot on digital, I have no fucking idea. End quote. I love it when he drops the F-bomb.
I know, right?
He's just so, like, icky. I mean, I get it. Digital, like, really, it kind of ruins the magic of the theater experience. I totally get it. Like, I do get we're basically watching television together on a big screen, but I don't know. I think he's being a little dramatic about it.
I agree. It's hard. It's hard because I feel like oh, you bitch. Oh, you're such a bitch. I feel like too many. I feel like many filmmakers are very, very reliant on technology. People who go apeshit with green screen, George Lucas, and unfortunately Peter Jackson with the Hobbit trilogy. There's a lot of
Oh,
green
come
screen.
on.
What do you mean? There's a lot of
Whatever.
green
There's a
screen.
lot of green screen, but how the heck else are you going to make The Hobbit? Like, come
Like you
on.
made Lord of the Rings. There
Mm.
was almost no. Well, I mean, there was green screen in Lord of the Rings, but most of it was not. That it was the percentage with the Star Wars was roughly the same. Now the storytelling isn't as bad in The Hobbit as it was in Star Wars, the prequels, and the acting isn't as bad, but it has a very digital look, and so I see something like that, and I'm like okay, I see that sort of point, but
Speaking of, shout out to Andy Serkis
oh
because I
my
will
god,
say, speaking of my, I know some of our viewers are interested in my top 5 list.
all right.
Um, I'd like to get it on with Gollum.
I like how you're giving it to us a week at a time. It's like one person on the list every week.
I would like to get it on with Gollum. Andy Serkis, if you're listening.
Andy Serkis is
He's
amazing. I
not
love that
listening.
man. Hey, you never know, man. I'm big in New Zealand. Um, let's see.
I could comment on that, but I won't.
Yeah, size is always a thing. Um, hey-ho. So,
I love these
but
sound effects.
in terms of shooting digital, my problem is that I don't have an excellent film to point to because I can't point to The Hobbit because I don't like the way that looks. I know that Life of Pi won awards. It annoyed me. I was like, well, I didn't honestly like the look of Life of Pi, but I have seen independent films where it was all shot digital, and I'm like, and they made it look amazing. Like to me, if you can shoot on film, great, but at the same time, if you can get the same result, or in some cases a better result, not shooting on film, then why wouldn't you do that? Like, it's hard for me to see. It's not objective. You can't say objectively one is better than the other because in some ways digital is amazing, and in other ways film, I guess, is amazing. I'm not too experienced with film, so I'm not even gonna like my opinion on this doesn't really matter. I haven't worked with film very much. I worked
No,
with
Garrett,
digital.
neither of our opinions on anything really matter, but it's still fun to talk about it.
It is definitely fun. I think you might be overblowing it a little bit, and
I mean, it's like way cheaper, right?
it's
I mean,
it's
don't get me
mega.
wrong,
Yeah.
but you also have to have a DP that's not going to screw things up.
Yep.
Like you've like way less chances to get it right. You have to have actors that don't suck. I mean, it's more of it's actually more of an immediate, I think, kind of medium unless you have a ridiculous amount of money because
Yeah.
like the more takes you have, the more expensive it is.
Here's one thing I like about what he says, which is that, what did he say about the thing with the young filmmakers and whatever?
Yeah.
Um, what does it say?
Well,
What did you say?
it's good for young filmmakers
Right.
who might not be, who otherwise would not be able to afford to make a film.
And with him there, I'm with him on that one. Total agreement. What I dislike that he said, you keep hitting your microphone, by the way. I don't know if something's going on. It might be buried in your hair.
Sorry.
That's okay. What I take issue with is that we're all watching television together, like that we're all watching TV together in public.
Is this my microphone?
Yes.
Hi, Garrett.
Oh wow.
Is
Hi,
that
Michelle.
better?
That's a lot better.
Wow.
Oh boy. Television has some of the best storytelling out there right now. There are many television shows that are a lot better than a lot of the films that are coming out. And I'm not just talking in terms of writing, I'm talking in terms of cinematography and production value. Game of Thrones, yeah, and acting. Game of Thrones Breaking Bad, Mad Men, these are beautifully shot shows with amazing actors and amazing writing. So when it says we're all watching television together in public, I'm like, well, yeah. And, like, how is film so it betrays this viewpoint that film is just so much inherently better than television.
Well, and
Now,
it's flipped though. As an actor, it is television is absolutely the place that everyone wants to be. Film is kind of like, oh great, you're back to film. So when
I
are you
mean,
going to be on, Big Bang Theory?
right.
It's much harder, and you see all of these movie stars going into television these days.
Absolutely.
Like,
Because it's a long-term gig, you got a steady paycheck, yada yada yada. Um, I mean, obviously, there's a lot of crap television out there as well, and I mean, it goes both ways. But this idea of like, oh well, we're all basically watching television together. Well, no. First of all, there are lots of television shows, good ones, now that still shoot on film. That don't even shoot digital, even though they are going to television. They shoot on film, and it's like, okay,
what?
so
Really?
that's a thing. Yeah. Not Game of Thrones, but there was another one. Ah, crap, I don't remember what it was, but there was another one recently that it was like good, critically acclaimed. Oh, you're such a bitch. Critically acclaimed show, blah blah blah, and they were and we're shooting on film too, and it's just like, wow, that's kind of cool. And second of all, it's like, I don't know. I think it's a little bit of an overblown argument. So anyway, that's my opinion.
I mean, here's the thing. If it weren't so overblown, I don't think people would be writing about it.
Exactly,
You know
and
what I
that's what
mean? Like
Tarantino
Quentin
is.
Tarantino, he's kind of a publicity hog,
Yeah.
and I kind of like that about him.
I will always be in love with him as a filmmaker, and I can forgive 90% of his public persona. It's a very very small percentage of it that I'm like, oh, I wish he hadn't done that. But
Yeah, but he's not on my list. Not even really.
I understand that. I understand that. He is on my list though. Now, okay, so we have reached the point where I would do a Geeks Grotto, but we have also run a little bit long on our other segments. So why don't we skip it? We've done a good long show. This has been a good show actually, and
'Cause I'm here, bitches.
all right. And next week we will have Chad Kukihiko back in the chair, which will be exciting.
Ow! Back from the film festival in Hawaii
Where
that
he
his film is on.
Yeah, where he premiered Tuesday morning, which is, by the
Woo!
way, that's going to come, like, at some point Tuesday morning is going to be available for you people to watch online. You people. What do you mean, you people?
People.
You need to go watch it. It is such a good film. It's really, really great. So anyway, I cannot speak highly enough about it. And when we tell you to, you better go watch it, people. So,
Wow, you people.
you people,
Get it.
yeah. So so we'll skip Geeks Grotto. We'll go right into things to know, and then we'll wrap up for the week. What is? Oh, I'm supposed to have a things to know.
Yeah, what's your thing to know, Garrett?
Shoot.
Would you
Well,
like
okay.
to start with my thing to know, Garrett B.
Start with
Robinson?
your thing to know. Do that.
My thing to know is actually kind of a little personal thing.
Woo!
I start shooting in about a week a film called The Bounce Back. I get to play a really fun, ridiculous person on a talk show, so I get to
You said dick.
go go off on Mario Lopez a little bit. It'll be fun. I get to work with Shimar Moore again, who I did a Criminal Minds episode with. And it's a fun little rom-com, like romantic comedy kind of thing. It's about Shimar. He's a writer, a book writer. I won't give too much away, but anyway, it'll be fun. I'm excited. And I'm actually really excited to shoot. Well, first of all, a feature that is shot in Los Angeles. It's amazing. I don't have to fly to New Orleans. I don't have to fly to Vancouver. I don't have to be put up in Wilmington, North Carolina. Like, I get to stay home. I get to wake up early and I get to go shoot it in LA. It's very exciting.
That's
So,
fantastic.
Eyes Out. It'll probably be out in like 2015 since they're still shooting and stuff like that. But yeah, it'll be a little fun thing.
Excellent. Well, then I will also take the opportunity to self-plug a little bit. My next book, I have given a release date. It is August 15th. The book is titled Rebel Yell. It is about a lot of the things that we talk about on this show. It's about independent artists and how the industry treats us and what benefits they offer and what they don't. It's a fictional book about an independent rock band. So I chose that setting to tell the same story that I experienced as a filmmaker and as an independent author. It is available for pre-order. However, you can find it on Amazon, Rebel Yell, and my name Garrett Robinson, or you can just go to garrettbrobinson.com/rebel-yell and pick it up, and it will come to you in August. And every pre-order copy of the book will be autographed for the regular retail price. Yes. Thank you. After that, you will have to pay more for an autographed copy, so keep that in mind.
Ooh.
And with those things to know, I will call an end to this week's show. Thanks you, everybody.
For joining us.
Yes, thank you, live viewers. Thank you, everybody who's put up with us for the 2 weeks that Chad has been out of town.
Hey,
I
it was fun.
It's been fun. We're glad that you seem to like us. We always like you. You can find me at garrettbrobinson.com, and Michelle is at mlucadoo on Twitter. We'll see you next week, guys. Bye.